to determine whether convicted murderer Alex Murdaugh will get a new trial.
Is Alex Murdaugh convicted of the double murders of his wife and son?
Every family has a favorite spot where you go to relax. These spots hold most of our childhood fond memories. It could be a summer vacation home, a cabin in the woods, a fishing spot, or even your favorite campsite or hiking spot for the sports enthusiasts. Whenever you think of these special spots, you always have a wide smile on your face. For Alex Murdaugh's family, it was their 1,700-acre property in Moselle, South Carolina. This spot was especially a favorite spot for 22 years. Paul, Alex's second son, he even planned to leave the estate to Paul as part of his inheritance because of how much Paul loved the place, with its vast lands, trees, and beautiful nature surrounding the place. Little did Paul know that such a happy place filled with happy and fun memories of family and friends would be the same place for the start of such a tragic tale, a place that bore witness to the heinous crime committed against him and his mom. Alex Murdaugh was from a strong line of lawyers dating as far back as the 1900s. His father was a lawyer, the same as his father before him. Safe to say that the Murdaugh family has a strong foot in South Carolina, and they are a family you dare not mess with. Alex Murdaugh followed in the family's footsteps and finished law school at the University of South Carolina in 1993. That same year, he got married to Maggie, and in 1996, the family of two became three, welcoming their firstborn son Buster Murdaugh into their home. 3 years later, in 1996, three became four with the birth of Paul Murdaugh, who was the second son of Alex and Maggie Murdaugh. Alex and Maggie lived a very happy life and had a home filled with laughter and love, where they raised their sons. They always ensured to create memories and have family time. It was one such family time that Alex decided to take his family to their property at Moselle so they could be together. The fateful day of June 7th, 2021, started as a normal day for the Murdaugh family, who decided to drive down their estate in Moselle. Alex arrived at the estate at about 6:42 p.m., followed by his son Paul and his wife Maggie, who arrived at about 7 p.m. At about 7:39 p.m., a video of Alex and Paul playing together and having a good time at the estate was posted to the internet mere hours before the tragic incident that occurred to the family happened. After the arrival of the family of three on the 7th of June 2021, they all had dinner together, after which Alex decided to drive down to his mom's place, who lived 20 minutes away from the family, leaving just Maggie and Paul alone at the estate. If Alex knew what tragedy awaits him, he wouldn't have left his family alone on that fateful night. Alex, on arriving home, discovered his wife and son had been shot dead, and he immediately called 911 to report the incident. When the police arrived, Alex, in a state of distress, narrated to the police that he had come home and found his family dead. He said that he had turned them over to confirm they were dead. Now this is where the case of Alex Murdaugh gets tricky. The incident that happened on the 7th of June put a strain on the whole family of the Murdaugh, but the proverbial last straw that broke the camel's back was 3 months later, on the 6th of September 2021, when Alex was asked to step down due to numerous proofs which claimed that Alex for years has been cheating his clients out of money and even stealing from some of them. It was this new development that raised a lot of speculations about the authenticity of Alex's statement and his claim that he was innocent of the murder of his wife and children. In his first account, he narrated that he had just come home from his mom's place and on arriving discovered that his wife and son had been shot dead. To further prove his innocence, Alex told the authorities to check his phone and trace his call history, and they would discover that his story matches. Alex went ahead to state how he fell asleep after dinner, leaving just Maggie and Paul awake, after which the duo, according to Alex, went to the kennel to play with the dogs they had on the ground. Still, after careful deliberation, it was seen that Alex had followed them to the kennel outdoors, which conflicted with his earlier statement that he went to sleep. Alex's call history and location also state that he left the house at about 9:07 p.m. and arrived at his parents' house at 9:22 p.m., where he stayed less than 30 minutes and left. But in his statement, he told the police he spent 45 minutes to 1 hour at his parents' place before heading home, where he discovered the bodies of both his wife and son and placed a call to 911 to report the incidents. After his calls and location were tracked, the authorities determined that the time of arrival for Alex and the time he placed the call was mere seconds, and yet he claimed that he checked the bodies to determine they were dead, which would have taken a few minutes seeing as the bodies were in different locations. All these inconsistencies in his story drastically changed the view of the media, who for the past 3 months since the unfortunate incident saw Alex as a victim and a distressed father and husband who was in mourning to that of a cold, heartless killer. The theory surrounding the turn of events was that Alex's wife discovered his money laundering scheme and tried to expose him, and Alex, out of anger and frustration, acted out and shot his wife with a blackout rifle, and then went ahead to shoot Paul with a shotgun to ensure there were no witnesses around. Alex, in one of his many hearings, admitted that he had been a drug addict for years, which was the main reason why he scammed his client, and the numerous side effects of the drugs were irrational behavior and paranoia, all of which might be reasons for Alex to kill his wife and son that fateful night. After Alex had been charged with the murder of his family and was to appear in court, he was out driving one night when he was shot in the head as he stopped on a freeway due to a flat tire. That night he called 911 stating that he had been attacked and shot by the roadside, seeking immediate help due to his gunshot wound. The amazing thing about this incident is that Alex almost made it out without any consequences, if not for an earlier 911 received reporting strange behavior from a car they had passed earlier, stating that the driver looked like he was planning something, but then she drove off without stopping. When Alex was confronted, he agreed to have paid a gunman to kill him, so his son Buster may receive a $10 million insurance payout that would have helped him financially. But many speculated that he planned the attack so it would appear to the court and the jury of his theory that the killer is still at large, trying to kill him since he was not home when the killer struck. During his hearing, his defense attorney Dick Harput-Laya and Jim Griffin narrates how loving and kind Alex was as a father and husband to the deceased. They went ahead to point out instances where Alex and Paul are seen having a father-son moment. Some of these incidents are recent recording of Paul and Alex playing with a tree in the Morell estate, and another was a video of the Colonel with the family of 3 being heard in the background. The video just goes to show that Alex had indeed lied to the authorities about his whereabouts that tragic night. His defense attorney argued that Alex had no motive to kill his family, and the 2 murder weapons signify that there might be 2 killers that fateful day. And if there were, where was the second killer? All these questions created some doubt in the minds of the juries present. The prosecutors, when allowed to speak, brought forth their case, stating that the motive Alex had was to cover up his tracks when he was found out by his wife concerning his embezzling scheme, and further reinstated that if he could lie to his family about his addiction for almost 20 years, and also lie to the face of his clients while stealing their money, then what is to say that Alex had not been lying from the beginning to the authorities and even the court, all in the quest to go scot-free for the crime he committed? After much back and forth with both the defense attorney and the prosecutor presenting their case and closing remark to the court, the jury went for a little break. Hearing both sides of the case, they called for a recess. And remarkably, this recess lasted just 30 minutes before they came back with a verdict stating that they found Mr. Alex Murdaugh guilty of both murder. The preceding Judge Clifton Newman read out Alex's sentencing, which sentenced him to life imprisonment of his natural life for both Maggie and Paul Murdaugh, which brings it to a total of 2 life sentences. Earlier this year, Alex filed for a retrial of the sentence passed during his 6-week trial, which was preceded by Judge Clifton Newman. In recent events, his retrial appeal was granted, with retired South Carolina Chief Justice Jean Toal serving as the presiding judge. Stay tuned to this page as we will be keeping you updated every step of the way concerning this thrilling case with lots of twists and turns. For the meantime, click the video on your screen because the ride doesn't stop here, as we have more thrilling videos for you.